o'clock Central Time, top of the hour. See some people on here. We'll have some other people I'm sure are going to be joining. Everyone, my name is Kevin Ristow. I am the one of the vice presidents here at the North American Insurance Services. Built the company, the FMO, in July. I'll be 11 years this year. And I help Andy run the life division. Andy, which is the vice president, or excuse me, the president of North American. So what I want to do is that as the meeting goes on, I'm going to share a screen. We're going to talk a little bit about a unique product with Americo, their final expense, their non-smoking. It's got a non-smoking aspect to it for 3 years. I want to make you guys aware of that. Make a big difference when we're out there selling people and we're trying to sell them final expense. And it may be a person that's a smoker. There's a big difference in premium. Well, Americo has got a way that we can get them non-smoker rate for 3 years. So we're going to go over that. And also, as it goes on, Priscilla, can people ask questions if they want?
Yes, everybody
Okay.
should have their mic on.
Okay, so if everyone wants to, if anybody has questions as we go, I don't know who's on their laptop, who's not on their laptop, but I want to share with you guys today, and I'm going to start right now. Oh, first of all, if anybody's got any good news, if you got any cases you're working on, whether it's life insurance, if you recently closed anything, I got a guarantee issue recently with Gerber. Had a person that wasn't, unfortunately, their health didn't allow them to get level first day. So we put them on a Gerber plan. It's a guarantee issue. It's $5,000 to $25,000. Once the person gets the plan, there's no health questions. Once they get the plan, it starts 2 years from the day they buy it. If they were to pass away, the beneficiary would get all the money premium back 10 plus 10% starting on 24 months, 1 day. It starts 100% of the face value, the premium and the face value are locked in. So the reason I tell you that quick little story is if you talk to clients and they, it turns out, unfortunately, whether you're in the middle of the application and they can't qualify based on health, or they tell you flat out they have something that you probably know would be a knockout, you never have to say, hey, we don't have anything to offer. We have some guarantee issue products, not just Gerber, but if you were on there last 2 weeks ago with Todd Marquade, he said Back Nine also has some additional guarantee issue, which is pretty cool. But does anybody got any questions, comments, any good news, anything they want to share before I jump right into this? I don't want to keep you guys long. I'm just going to show you some pretty neat stuff here. And you can interrupt anytime, any questions you have. So I'm going to get right to it. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. So Priscilla, can you see the happy gentleman holding the iPad?
No, let's see. Go ahead and try again sharing it.
See,
there you go. I can
you
see
got it now. Okay.
Perfect.
So guys, today what I wanted to share a little bit is with Americo. That's one of the what we really want to concentrate on this year is simplified issue life insurance and final expense, which means simplified issue simply means there's no exams, no blood, no urine, any of that stuff. So there's a series, depending on the carrier, whether it's Mutual of Omaha, Americo, they have, between the two of them, they have a lot of good, not only final expense products. Mutual of Omaha is Living Promise. Americo is Eagle Premier, which we're going to touch on today. So what I do if I have an individual, and then Gerber, which is our guarantee issue. So with those two companies, there's also a ton of other products eventually you can become familiar with other types of term insurance. But usually if I have a person, let's just say it's a 60-year-old person, a male, and let's say they're a non-smoker, I'll pull up Americo, I'll pull up Mutual. Mutual usually is a couple dollars cheaper. If they're on a fixed budget, I'll give them both options, and usually we'll go with a little bit cheaper option. However, same situation, if we have a 60-year-old smoker, then of course I have to pull a Mutual smoker rates, And then I pull up Americo, and then Americo, they will be non-smoker rates, even if the person smokes for 3 years. So if you can, I don't know if you guys have your laptops or not, but if you're, and if you're not, I encourage you to get appointed with Americo. And once you get your agent code, you'll have access to Agent Cafe. Agent Cafe is pretty much one-stop everything Americo. So there's a lot of different things we can do on the Agent Cafe site. Uh, Maybe next week, if you guys are interested, I'll spend more time on the entire site, but I'm just going to show you, run through this real quick with you. So if you know you're on the right side, obviously, if it says Agent Cafe and you see this happy guy here. At the top, there's sales tools, microsites, and then information to contact. Americo, if need be. Agent Cafe, your one-stop shop for everything Americo. They, in addition to the very nice street level commission and advanced commission, they also have every 6 months they have their own uh, bonus program going on based on the amount of annualized premium that you submit. So again, just a real good benefit there. If you want to get to the actual Americo site, once you get your agent code, you can go right here to the agent login. You go to the Americo site. I normally just do that to track my applications. Otherwise, this site here we're on does everything I needed to do. We're going to go down a little further, and then we're going to come back to this agent tools. This will allow you to log in, and then you can do quotes. You can do e-applications, and you can actually write. This is where you can, if you have a client that wants to enroll in the product after you explain how they work, you can go right up here, go to Agent Tools, log in, and you can write them up. Again, it talks about different swag and stuff you can get. But what I wanted to do today is just real quick show you guys at the bottom. And again, same thing at the top, microsites. But at the bottom, this is the main training tools. It teaches you about the products. It teaches you about the variety of products. Now, and as you can see here, we're not going to, worry too much about all of these things, but the neat thing about Americo, if you're appointed, you can do free advertising. It's called insurance drip. They got pre-approved, compliant ads that you can attach to your favorite social media, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Facebook, whether it's whatever. And it doesn't cost any money. It's pretty neat. So you can do that for multiple products. And then a very popular product now, it's what they call a MIGA, multi-year guarantee issue or guaranteed annuity, which means you lock in a rate, whether it's 3, 5, 7 years, whatever. It could lock a person into 4.5%, 5% of return. So if people are interested in that, because it doesn't fluctuate all over, it does compound, so it works out well. They also have fixed annuities, which we'll get into that at some point. Term life instant decision. And the reason I point to that, so if you want to sell other than the final expense, which we're going to concentrate on today, everything we're going to go over with the final expense today works the same exact way with the term life instant decision. You just press on it, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. It goes over each product, and then you can do your training and stuff there as well. All right. So let's go back here. I'm going to concentrate today just on final expense, instant decision. And the thing that sets Americo apart when it says instant decision, that's what they mean. So if I'm writing you up right now, before we even get to the health questions, it'll there's like a little HIPAA text message that the client will get that says, hey, do we have your permission pretty much to do a snapshot of your prescription and your medical background? And they'll say yes or no, but they'll normally say yes. If they say yes, it takes a couple minutes. And then if it lets you continue with the questions, that means for the most part, they're going to qualify for the policy. If it does not let you move forward, that's when you need to, that means they won't qualify for the policy, and you can go ahead and pivot to a guarantee issue, whether it's Gerber or their accidental death, stuff like that. I'm just going to kind of run through this. And again, I just explained this. Instant decision is the only way to write more cases to get paid faster. It really is so fast. The Eagle Premier is Americo's uh, final expense, whereas Mutual of Omaha's living promise. But with Americo, it's final expense. It is a whole life policy. It's meant to pay final expense. And that's when we talk about final expense. Sometimes people say, isn't that just whole life insurance? Well, it is, but it's specifically to, and when we're selling it this way for people's final expenses. And if you haven't run through this site before, shoot me an email, I'll give you my information at the end if you want, and I'll run through it. It's worth it. It's it's one of my favorite sites for any carrier to get everything you need done in just one stop. It's pretty neat. They can do text or email signatures. Decisions are immediate, so you know right away whether they qualify. That's big for a couple reasons. It's big because the client knows they don't have to wait, 8, 10 weeks for a fully underwritten decision. They know right away if they get it, and then you know right away, because that way you can go ahead and plan commissions and stuff as well. Agent tools, if you go down here, same thing. If a person's if you're about to write someone up after you give them the quote, you go with a product and they want to do it, bam, you just start the application. You can do demo apps just for practice. I suggest doing the live app right away. If you make a mistake, it doesn't let you go forward. So it kind of you're learning as you go, and then you're getting it done all at once as well. And it reminds you everything on there to ask the individual. So let's talk real quick about the products. About this particular so if we just go over what final expense insurance is, just in your head, if you can sell it to yourself this way, then when you talk to people over a certain age and they say, hey, I just want enough money to pay for my funeral costs, my services, stuff like that, final expense. Every day families are faced with a difficult decision, and I have seen this so many times. When you lose someone, and I have seen families that didn't make sure the individual did have life insurance, then they're scrambling around. They're trying to collect money from each person in the family. They're trying to come up with the money for the cost. I even saw GoFundMe trying to take care of stuff like this. Our goal and our objective as a salesperson is to ask every single person, I don't care what age, if they have life insurance. If they do, great, review what they have, see if they need something different, see if they need more, and maybe they're just not interested. If they don't have any, of course, then we can offer them, depending on what age they are, but this case, final expense. I like Medicare, I like final expense. They go hand in hand. I don't sell every single Medicare person I have final expense, but I ask everybody, and I have quite a few clients that have both. And here's the biggest reason, because I work with seniors every day. They do not want to leave their family with a financial burden. The last thing they want to be remembered for is not to be a burden financially on their family. So we need to talk about it. And sometimes, if the individual can't afford it, if they're on a very low fixed income, they might say, well, my children want to get it for me, or we have someone in my family that could pay for it, because eventually someone will have to pay for it. So they'd rather pay a monthly premium every month they can fit into their budget, and then have that check at the end, which is inevitable for all of us, versus once it happens, trying to figure out how to pay for everything. If you've ever lost someone close to you and you've been involved with the arrangements, it's expensive. So you gotta, and that's just one less thing that we can take off the plate for the family. And then in your mind, just be asking, all these questions. And you can even ask the client, how are you going to pay the bills? Who's going to pay for your final expense or your funeral expense? Who will pay for other outstanding? Because that's not the only thing. If a person has a drawn out illness, unfortunately, there's a lot of medical bills. And if they're married, their spouse will be they'll be responsible to pay that. So if you got a husband and wife, it's always good to talk about taking it out on each. That way, when one goes before the other one has a little bit of financial relief. It is easy to sell. And again, other than just going over this particular product today, we can run through this together. We can spend 20 minutes, whatever we want. I'll go over the application, the products, the materials that you can get, how to, run the no cost advertising on there. So it's easy to apply because there are no medical exams. There's some health questions. And I always tell people, to be as honest as you can, because it's going to find out if you're not. It's not going to let us go forward. And that means they found something, and maybe they know it, maybe they don't. But I always just flat out ask them, just answer the questions the best you can. It's just a yes or no. You don't have to go into a lot of explanation. And then sometimes, a phone interview will be required later to confirm things, but most of the time not. The premiums are level and locked in. They don't increase unless, you add more insurance on later on. And this is the big thing here on this particular product. Quit smoking advantage. It allows smokers to receive non-smoker rates for 3 years. It's simple to explain, and every client can qualify for coverage because even if they don't have perfect health, they can get a guarantee something. So let's go ahead and talk about what that means. By the way, if you get into this, and if we do this together and I run through this site with you, I always suggest to agents to put your agent guide on your desktop because it's got everything in there you'll need. But a couple of the things I like, and this is how I learned all the products, because it's just, as you're going, it's just quick to look at the highlights and a quick reference. So the quick reference, this explains the entire application, the entire product right here. It tells you that if it's a level, which means they guarantee for first day, it's what they call the Eagle Premier. If their health isn't so great, then they can get possibly a guarantee. But again, there's some different reasons why you would consider that. Eagle Premier, it's 40 to 85. That's a pretty big deal because a lot of final expenses start at 50 years old. You can start offering final expense or a whole life policy, however you want to look at it, when they're 40 years old. Not for smokers, it's 40 to 80. And non-smokers, it's 40 to 85. Again, we just went over a lot of this stuff. It is simplified issue. Quit smoking advantage, which we're going to touch base on that. They can get anywhere from $5,000 to $40,000. Whereas if it's a guarantee issue, it means they have less than perfect health. They can get up to $10,000. But if you look at this right here, if a person doesn't qualify for the Eagle and they're going to have to get a guarantee, you might want to consider Gerber. And the reason I say that is Gerber works the same way as this. For the first 2 years, if they pass away, the beneficiary gets all premiums plus 10%. Well, this one, year one, they get 5%. Year two, 10%. Year three, they're covered 3/4, 75%. Year four, they're covered 100%. With Gerber, starting year three, they're covered 100%. So I'm not trying to confuse anybody, but that's why it's good to know how our products work, so you always know what's best for the client and even yourself. And again, this is full death benefits day one. It's what we call level. It even has a quick height weight chart. So it's good to have because, again, as you're memorizing all the details to these policies, boom, you have it right in front of you. And then the highlights, it's just, I printed these when I first started, putting one of those little clear sleeves, and that way I had them both so I can look at. It tells you everything about what we've just been going over. Tells you what they check the prescription and their medical background very quickly. There's no amendments, there's no paperwork, everything is e-application, and it's very, very easy product. But here's the part that I want everybody to, and there's some different riders as well, training videos for the, and the neat thing about America and Mutual of Omaha is a lot like this. Training videos only a few minutes each per product. It's not overwhelming. It's not boring. It doesn't take forever. Pre-approved advertising, like I was talking earlier. So if you want to market and you don't have a budget to pay for it right now, you can do it right through this site. Some different things like that. Client brochures, if you want that. They got a neat final wishes planning guide, which you can give to the client, and they can write everything down there that they want once they pass away. So that way they can give it to possibly the beneficiary, and they'll know exactly what their final wishes are. You can even look over this to build some confidence, how to give a final expense presentation to the client. Some different Spanish materials as well, and so on. But all this stuff is at your disposal. I mean, if a quick reference sheet, if you want to use this just to make sure you ask the right health questions, that's even there for us. I used to use this. I don't fill this out every time, but I got it memorized so I know exactly what to ask the person, just the main things. That way you won't forget and you know right away whether or not you continue on with the policy. But here's the thing I wanted to concentrate on today. It's unique. It sets it apart from other final expenses. It is the quit smoking advantage. So what this means is same 60-year-old person, whatever the amount is, and there's an example, which we'll talk about this in a minute. They basically get 3 years of level coverage for non-smoking rate, even if they're a smoker, which means for 3 years, well, let's just use this easier to explain. For the first 3 years, a person at 65, a male smoker, 10,000, be 6540. If you took that same male with Mutual of Omaha for a smoker rate, it would probably cost close to $100. So that's kind of a big deal. You want to sell them on the difference in the premium. And then it gives them incentive over the next 3 years to quit smoking. So if they don't quit smoking on year 4, it doesn't mean they lose the coverage. They have some options. If they do quit smoking, it continues on. And that's the goal. Not only to lock in a better premium, but also it's better for their health if they quit smoking, as we know. So here's the other two options. If they continue to smoke, and you'll see the difference here. If they continue to smoke, they can keep the same $10,000 face value, but look what happens to the premium. It goes up by $52 a month just because they're smokers. And they don't have to go through, all the underwriting or all the questions and everything because they already have the policy. If they decide they only want to continue to pay the same premium as they were paying the first 3 years, but they want to keep smoking, they can do that. So instead of the premium going up, that stays the same, and then the face value goes down. So it's either the same premium and then they'll match the face value of the death benefit to that, or they can keep the face value and increase the premium. But I emphasize over and over again, you're lucky because we can offer you non-smoker rates for the next 3 years. And I always joke with them, you're probably going to try to quit smoking between now and then. And most 99% of the time they say yes. And it just gives them incentive. Because Mr. 65-year-old, look at this. So you're saving 35, you're saving $52 per month times 12 for the first 3 years. You're saving over $1,500 for non-smoker rates, even though you're still smoking. But the goal is to quit smoking so you lock those in forever. So this is kind of neat, this little training brochure, because everything that we need on any one of these products, it's going to have these little one sheet overviews of it. And it really is that simple. These products are that simple. You can get one of these for every single product, which is kind of neat. And then what I did when I first started with Americo to get used to their products, I clicked through all of this stuff. What's the advantage? And then you can have this right in front of you as well. What's the advantage of quitting smoking? And it tells you all the different things that you can familiarize yourself with. And you can use this when you're selling as points to bring up. Questions you can unmute if you want as we go, if anybody has any questions. I thought this was kind of important because what I used to sell most of the time for final expense was Mutual of Omaha. And of course, I have a lot of smokers out there, unfortunately. And the rate is quite a bit higher, but if they smoke and they know it, they know that the rates are going to be higher when you go in. A lot of people will just say, well, I smoke, I'll pay the difference. It's kind of neat when you can offer them something and it becomes a lot more competitive, because if they say, well, I already got one quote and it's this much as a smoker, and you say, wow, I get the same exact coverage over here, and it's you get non-smoker rate for 3 years, and it's very, very appealing to them, and it might even hopefully maybe push them into the non-smoking thing. So any questions, thoughts, comments? Priscilla, did you hear all that?
Yes. Hi,
Okay,
Kevin.
good.
It looks like in the chat, Wanda had a question. She asked what
Yeah.
are the age parameters for Gerber?
For Gerber, that is a good question. I think it's 40 to 80. But can you still hang on? I will, if you got, let me go ahead and pull it up real quick, because they also changed their age. But Gerber's a good one to have. I would have all three of these in my bag 100% for sure. Because eventually, if you want to, like I said, sell other than final expense, Americo, they have return of premium products, which we can go over that maybe next time. They also have plans, decreasing term if they have a mortgage, which they're one of the only companies that do have that. And then as far as Mutual of Omaha goes, Mutual of Omaha is kind of cool because uh, eventually not only can you sell final expense, you can sell regular term. They got a really nice whole life. You can sell disability, Medicare, supplements, long-term care. So having these few carriers in your bag gives you all kinds of opportunities, so you don't have to walk away from the table no matter what type of coverage that they want. So any other questions? I'm trying to look this up real quick. And of course, it is being a pain. But let me give you guys real quick my I'm gonna write my let's see, age brackets. I'm gonna give you guys my contact information, and I encourage you to shoot me an email, because for some reason I am having trouble getting to the Gerber site. And then we can set up a time one-on-one if you want. I can walk you through the Mutual site, the Gerber site, and the Americo site. And if you're not put in contract with those three carriers, I would encourage you to do that. And I would encourage you to offer life insurance every single sale, over 65, under 65, just at least ask about it. Uh, Mutual and Omaha's got a nice, and so does Gerber, children policy that you can sell, which is kind of cool. Let me just try one more thing, pull this up. Appreciate your patience. And if going forward, if anybody ever wants the particular subject covered, whether it's more America, more Mutual, more Gerber, let me know, in advance, and we can go ahead and train on that as sites. I can have the reps from these different companies come as well, so we can definitely do that. Any other questions, comments, thoughts? I am trying to get into Gerber, and it is giving me a hard time here. And this is a recorded session today. So if you guys want to ever go back, listen to it again. If you're not part of our North American Facebook group, North American Agent Facebook group, I would encourage that. There's a lot of good information on that every day, every week. People are discussing cases. There's like I don't know, 1,100 people on there. Some of the top agents in not only the company, in some cases in the country, like with Manhattan Life and Allstate and some of these other carriers. So let me go ahead and yeah, I'm working on the contact information. But if you go on North American site, like I said, there's so many different relationships and connections you can build there. So Priscilla, I don't know why I'm having all these problems. I can't. Let me see. I'm trying to put my information in the chat box and it's not cooperating with me.
Oh, no problem. I can just drop it here.
I don't know why. I guess I'll have to. Yeah, just put my name and email address if you want. Put my website. They can check that out. If they don't have one, maybe get some ideas for that. Yeah, I appreciate you doing that. So guys, shoot me an email, who's ever, if you guys want to do, like I said, a one-on-one extra training, anything at all, I'd be more than happy to help you with that. We could share a screen. I can walk you through the sites. We can talk about all the advantages of not only selling final expense, but life insurance in general. We can talk about prospects. If you haven't been, if you're looking for prospects, I would start with your circle of influence, family and friends. I mean, whether they're family, friends, I wouldn't feel weird about offering it to. Everybody needs life insurance. I mean, you can get some referrals. I'll show you how to do this free marketing on the Americo site. So there's many, many things we can do. And let me see, Wanda, I think I actually have your email address. I'll find out, I'll figure out this Gerber thing after we hang up and I will shoot you that. But again, guys, I'll leave you with this thought. If you're not appointed by Gerber, Americo, and Mutual, I would do that. If you're appointed with Back Nine, Gerber and Mutual, you can do through Back Nine, but Americo, you have to have a separate contract. What's the difference? If you're direct with a carrier, you get more commission and you get advanced. If you have those same carriers through Back Nine, absolutely nothing wrong with it, except it is no advance and it's a little less commission because they get a piece. So you guys, whatever you want to do as far as these, I would do it. I would definitely have a minimum of these. If you of these three, if you do go through Back Nine and you write a fully underwritten policy for some reason, because when you start getting up to $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, you might want to go fully underwritten. Even if you find a nice carry on there through their quote and apply tool, and you're not appointed, you get just in time. So you will get appointed and contracted before the contract ever gets issued. So there's just a lot of different things we can do. So let me know how I can help. I appreciate you being on. Priscilla, thanks as always for bailing me out. And if you guys have any questions, shoot me an email. I'd be more than happy to shoot you my phone number as well. So go protect some lives, offer it to people. If you ever need help with a quote, you can give me a call as well, and we'll just roll from there. Priscilla, anything else?
We will shortly have this webinar out tomorrow at the latest. So go ahead and check out our YouTube channel. We have a different bunch of live trainings with Kevin's and other insurance training as well. So if you go check out North American Insurance Services on YouTube, you'll go ahead and find this live webinar tomorrow.
And I'm glad you said it, because regardless, and if you check that out and you decide, hey, I also want to do Medicare, I want to do short-term medical, I want to do, alternative or whatever the case may be, regardless of any of the other channels you eventually go, you can offer life insurance with every single one of those, whereas every single one of those, it's not the same way. So life insurance can be offered with everything and everyone needs it. So keep that in mind when you're talking to people. Everybody have a great day, and I'll talk to y'all soon.